Hey everyone, Jeremy, National Fire Radio. Welcome back to the podcast. Yes, Pip just fell over. He's so little, and that was boisterous. So, guys, welcome back to the show. This is the Be Thankful episode. Actually, it's just filler. I didn't know what we wanted to do, and I needed an episode for this week. And with Thanksgiving here, I said, fuck it. Let's just be thankful. So I grabbed Rob and I grabbed Pip. Sebi was supposed to be with us, but he had to put his apron on at the firehouse and prep for Thanksgiving meal. That's tender. I guess we'll hop into that later. And so on. But guys, thank you. First off, I'm thankful. I'm thankful that, well, I got you two in my life, and weird and sappy, but that's about as sappy as I'm going to get with this episode because I want it to be fun. I want it to be some laughs. And so on. But man, we've had a fun year. Pip, you turned it on this year with us. The Size Up really came back full force. Consistency in the podcast, releasing every Tuesday morning, your episodes out, new guests every week. Health, wellness, lifestyle, pretty freaking cool, man. Pretty good. Thank you.
Pretty freaking crazy. You were most welcome. Thank you. I mean, again, I felt like when we said we're going to do this thank you episode or be thankful, whatever you said there in your crazy intro, I'm like, are we just going to keep saying thank you the whole time?
No.
Like, thank you.
No, that's about it.
It's been a great year though. It's been 30 something episodes this year. I got in there 30 weeks in a row. So, and still have one coming out next week. So
yeah, I never saw you keeping up with this. So it's pretty cool, man.
Me neither. You and me both, buddy.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I think though too, right, is that once you get into a groove, so I committed a year ago. October has been a year for me to commit to doing a new episode every day. I put out, I think this year I didn't do every day minus weekends, and a couple weeks I took a week off here, a week off there, but I can say that consistently I was putting up at least 3 new episodes a week on the podcast channel. We're hitting episode 300. So I think I did like 260 episodes or something like that this year.
I told you how aggressive it was when you told me you were going to do that. And I'm like, that's crazy. And even the one a week has been a challenge, and I've learned things along the way, and I'm still learning things along the way. But it's been just a great experience. You and I talked the other day about, how many people we've gotten to chat with this year. And you've obviously got way more than I have, but that's been like one of the best parts of my year is all the guests that I've gotten to meet.
I think that's what it is, right? We're storytellers and we get to sit down with people. And when you truly care about people and you care about their story, then it makes for a good conversation. And I think that's all we do is we just capture cool conversations. We'd have these conversations with or without people listening. So why not record them and share them? If I get enjoyment out of it and I enjoy the conversation, why not just share it, right?
Yeah, and I think that's Rob, take notes of this one too. I try to start recording once the video screen pops up. Today we were chatting for a few minutes that we would have been a lot of edit. Actually, the guy edit.
Actually, it would have been absolutely hilarious. We should have done it.
It would have been, but we probably would never get a podcast edited again.
So only recently in the last week or two, I've gotten away from doing these big like intros and everything. And I just literally hit record and go because some of the best conversations, one-liners come from the pre-show. So why have a pre-show? Let's just capture it, record it. So yeah, that's something new I've been doing. But Robert, thank you as well, buddy.
Yes.
You have been there with me since day one, man. We were partners going into this thing in the She Shed, doing our first couple interviews. Crushing beers and not having a bathroom, going outside, peeing in the bushes, coming back in, double banging episodes in one night. I mean, sometimes the second episode, we were kind of looking sideways a little bit after the first episode. Yeah. It was fun, man. It's just been a lot of fun the past almost 6 years. This March will be 6 years.
That's hard to believe too. I look back at some of the time and I think of so for me, driving from Poughkeepsie down to Franklin Lakes to record was like there just was this. All right, like how do I not screw this up? Because we've got something. I think it's good. Like I don't want to mess this up and get myself prepped for those interviews of not knowing really who we were going to talk to, because you just had this Rolodex of people. And each night, not knowing what to expect and getting blown away because there was such just good guests, good lessons.
You know what it is? Good guests, they're just good people, right?
Yeah.
And we've interviewed guys that work in the largest of cities and go to fires every single day. And even in their sleep, they go to fires. And then we interview guys that, volunteer in a sleepy town. Everybody has value to the conversation. Everybody gets to have a story. And that's why for me, like what I've found with the podcast now for me is really finding this groove of interviewing and I don't mean this with any disrespect at all, but just interviewing average dudes, just guys that are career volunteer firemen, people that give back to the fire service, organizations, people that have charitable outreach, companies, like anything that influences the fire service and pushes it forward with a positive message. I want to be a part of that. And I don't think we need to interview the top 2%. I just don't think we can. We interview guys with name recognition that teach and travel across the country. And many of them are our dear friends that we talk with regularly. And most of our dear friends have never been on the show. I haven't asked them to be on the show. It's almost like I want to keep that separation in a way because, listen, there's other guys that are putting those guys on, sharing their story. Those guys teach all over the country. I'd be honored to have them on. They're friends. I know they would come on. I just think there's so many other people that have relatable stories that need to be told, and nobody else is looking in the trenches for those guys and saying, hey, Frank over there in suburbia, Kentucky, come tell me your story about your volunteer fire company.
Yeah.
Like there's lessons to be learned in all cultures of the fire service, and not every story has to come from the biggest and best.
I talked to a guy the other day, Rob Sabian from the Rochester area, and I'm going to get him in for an interview, and he was like, well, who's going to want to hear from me? And I said, Stretch, the whole fire service needs to hear from you. Like, I want to talk to you about being a senior firefighter and being that unofficial leader. And he's like, but why? And I said to him, I was like, you talked about bringing guys to see Brent Brooks in Toronto and going to the firehouses. And like, do you know how that's like a lost art in of itself of going to get some like Endemann's crumb cake and some creamer and knocking on a firehouse door and saying, hey brother, we're from, on the job in Rochester. We just wanted to come in and say hi. We bought, donuts and stuff or whatever else. And
some half and half.
Yeah.
The yellow Edmund's crumb cake. That's the one.
But like, that's like, people need to hear that
with the glaze on top.
The raspberry one. I like the regular yellow one with the crumble.
There's this weird thing going on between Jeremy and then the guy that's into fitness about.
It's really good. Why am I stuck with this? Like the guy who's into fitness, right? I do fitness for sure. Maybe I do a little more fitness than some other folks out there, but it's not my, as Jeremy raises his hand. It's not my be all end all, and it's funny because I talk to different guests on the Size Up about that. And we do talk about that sometimes you get pigeonholed out in society as you're only this one type of person, let's say, and you have nothing else to offer anywhere else. And that's part of the thing that I like about interviewing folks who, when I ask them to come on the show, they'll be like, and they always, and I can tell even the way they're typing, that they're typing passively, like, I've never been on a podcast before. So cool. That's even better. Like, come on, let's talk about what you have going on, because what you're doing is awesome. And people need to know about that because there's someone out there that's doing the same exact thing or can learn from you how to do what they're doing better. And that's where I think everybody has something to offer.
Well, and that's why what we're doing with National Fire Radio is rounding out the platform, right? I mean, we're tradition and culture. We're getting into the training aspect. We have another show that's going to be coming on very soon that's really going to go after the firematic and tactics and strategies. You have the lifestyle, health and wellness, and, because it matters what you do off the job, which I think you and I have crafted recently as how we want to brand the Size Up going forward. And I think that matters more than what I'm doing. Like when you talk about, when you unpack what guys are getting out of the job, there has to be some disconnect, right? Everything in the fire service, what we're watching right now, is how dialed in you are, like-minded people. We want to be all in on it. 100%. We absolutely do, but there has to be some downtime. And it's what you do in that downtime allows you to recharge, to come back bigger and better, to give back more and to get more out of it and to put more in it, is only if you're good in your real life.
I feel like too that those folks out there, they're burnout waiting to happen. You can't be 24/7, 365. I'm 100% all in, true on leader, fireman, whatever. You just can't. It's impossible. And I think we see that in our home lives, when we see unsuccessful marriages, we see that burnout, we see substance abuse, you could be too far all in, I guess is what I'm saying. And
Absolutely.
you need these other pursuits. I've said it all the time where like by moving away from where I live or from where I work, I should say. I used to work 5 minutes or live in the city I worked in. Now I live 30 minutes away. That 30-minute commute home made me a different person when I walked in the door.
Well, I know Tracy is thankful for that.
Tracy's what? Tracy's happy.
This is the thankful episode. I'm sure she's thankful for that.
Tracy is thankful that I shaved my mustache, which I just recently did again. So
it's disappointing because now you look like a 14-year-old.
The majority of people are saying it's disappointing, except for my wife.
Yeah.
Well,
luckily she has a vote, but
she's got the biggest vote. My vote doesn't count. I only have to look at you like once a week, maybe.
I'll just tally you guys. She only sees me once a week sometimes too, though. So
yeah, it's true. So I agree, man. I think there's so much here. What I wanted to do today was kind of just hop on a call real quick. Like I said, Sebi was supposed to join us. Sebi's our videographer. He's always behind the scenes. Every once in a while, I like to get him on camera or on audio with us just because he does have a big part in what we do. He's just the silent guy in the background. But he brings so much to the table. And I can tell you this too. I'm very much thankful for him. He really has stepped up his game times 100 this year on the podcast and on the social media side. We do a tremendous amount of projects outside of what people see. We work with a lot of manufacturers. There's been a lot of trips this year. Our media marketing side of National Fire Radio is growing exponentially, which comes with a lot of deadlines, which comes with a lot of post-production work, scheduling. There's so much involved, and he has every part to do with that. And to be honest with you, I would be so screwed without him. And so he's been a big part. I wanted them on today to thank him for everything he does for us. But, going forward, we're only getting busier. We have so many things coming out in Q1 next year, let alone first half of next year. We're looking at a lot of different opportunities, partnerships, collaborations, and projects we're working on that are already in the hopper or scheduled. We got a lot of stuff coming, man. A lot of stuff. And I'm just thankful, right? I think there's days, this is an important topic to me. And it goes to what we were just talking about. It's that burnout and you go, and then you need some time. And I've come to value that time off, whether it's an hour or whether it's a full weekend or whatever it looks like, to be able to step back a little bit, refocus. You need that. And I don't really know how to do that, but I'm learning more and more how to do it.
I don't think any of us know how to do it. That's part of the thing that makes us us.
You do. You just said you like to lay on the couch at night. Like I don't know what
consider that downtime. Jerry, I don't even consider. I consider that like I'm falling asleep.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. Like it's just the way that I think most people are wired that way, and the way technology has affected us has only increased it. Like think about how many people are messaging the platforms and messaging you with questions. And because you're you or on me or Rob's Rob or Tracy's Tracy on her platform, we feel like we have to answer them right then and there. And it's just constant go.
It's also that emergency services mindset that we have because we don't ever, it's not like we ever hear a structure fire and we're like, yeah, I'll get to that in a minute. Hold on. I got to finish putting the dishes away. So like there's some of that's hardwired in from our job too, I think. And it's just, we're always responding to put 100%. it in a weird way, I guess. But
we're always there to fix problems, right? People call us when they have a problem, and generally speaking, we resolve that problem. It may not be the complete fix, but we go there, we fix it, and we set them up for the next end of it. So when you have this mindset, that's how you feel everything needs to be, and it's very hard to turn it off.
But you know what? Jeremy, you talked about this episode. I am extremely thankful that I'm one of the problem solvers, because I think the one thing that has always drove me crazy is when there's something going on and people are just looking at a problem and not doing anything. And like, I don't know, just that how people can watch somebody either be suffering and not help them, or, instead of doing some kind of proactive action, getting out their phone to take a video of it, to post it, live stream it, whatever it is. Like, I'm happy that I'm surrounded by people like you guys who are those helpers who will step in and do something.
So you two stand in line at the Home Depot while you're waiting, saying how you could fix the problem in the cashier lines, that there's only 2 cashiers and 9,000 people.
Pip, you don't clearly know me enough to know that I would never be in line in the Home Depot to go fix something. I'd be like, let me call somebody.
Example, Target, wherever you want to pick, wherever it is.
Yeah, I very much that way. Or I just walk past and leave because I can't tolerate it. You know,
I put the stuff down.
That looks like EMS. I'm out of here, Jeremy. National Fire Radio.
I did. On a side note, I did get caught shoplifting the other day. True story. And yeah. Oh. So all right, let me
let's talk about this.
Yeah, I was going to say, let's break this one down.
Into this one and not talk about it.
Now this is a good friend of mine. When self-checkout became a thing, now more than ever by us, every freaking store is self-checkout. And well, now they're making you work. And so my buddy says if they put friction in the system, he goes, sometimes if it doesn't scan, it still makes it to my cart. I'm not going to sit here and waste my time. They should have a cashier. And if they don't, so be it. So so hold on. I don't want this to sound terrible. So
it's sounding great. Don't worry.
Keep going.
I have a thing with bottled water on the bottom of the cart. I just do. If it's there, it's there. I forget about it.
Oh, you don't scan it?
I forget it's there. And so
I forget it's there.
You put it there.
So
the little thing says,
you're doing self-checkout. You got all these bags. You're bagging. You put the bags in the cart. You can't see below the cart, so you forget the water's there. So the other day, I go walking out of the store, and I'm putting stuff in my truck. And as I get in and I start the truck up, I look over, and there's a woman standing next to my passenger side door. And I roll down the window. I'm like, yes. And she's like, I think you forgot to pay for the water. And I was like, oh my gosh, I can't believe it. Let me come right in and take care of that. So I went in and paid the $4 for the case of Poland Spring water. And then I walked out. And I got home. I said to Terry, I go, I finally got busted for stealing water. She's like,
so the 40 cases you walked out with, they finally got you on this one, huh?
They finally got me. Yeah. They probably have a picture of me hanging up now. Like, don't let this guy self-check out without somebody watching him. But no,
40 cases of water.
Come on, you know what?
So Jeremy's thankful he didn't go to jail the other day. The nice lady let him come back in and pay for it.
Are you kidding me? They were like, "Oh, you forgot." I was like, "Oh my god, I can't believe I forgot." How terrible.
They bought it. That's what Jeremy said after he was done. They bought it. I forgot.
I was actually kind of like mortified at first, and then I was like, "Oh, you know what? Fuck."
You must have had to back out of the parking spot because they could have seen you being like, "Oh, I forgot."
Just drove away. But anyway, yeah. So I stole water the other day, and I paid for it.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm thankful.
I like self-checkout, by the way. I'm thankful for self-checkout. Lets me get out of the store faster sometimes.
Okay.
Just gotta throw it out there. I don't really mind it sometimes. I can knock it out now. I'm pretty good.
Oh, I am too. Definitely. And I guess another form of stealing then would be like if you're buying apples, you obviously just buy the cheapest apples that pop up on the screen because you have to type in apple.
100% of I don't even know what apples I picked.
Oh, so then you're doing the same. You're doing the same as me. Then.
I press whatever button it is, though. I don't even know. Maybe I'm paying the most expensive some days. Maybe I'm not. Who knows?
No, not me. Macintosh when I'm buying, wine. What is that? Wine sap or Gala.
Listen, Jeremy, you're a ball bearings guy and a firefighter, not an apple connoisseur. So
Are you kidding me? I eat apples every day.
I was trying to give you a pass here, but all right, yeah.
I'm an apple guy, man. Why can't I be an apple guy? Because what I do off the job matters, doesn't it? Like, can I enjoy apples?
I'm not inviting you on the show to talk about apples. I can tell you that much.
Come on.
It'd probably be one of the best episodes you have.
Yeah.
The most downloaded episode ever.
So,
most downloaded episode ever. Apples. Which variety you choose.
So going forward, I mean, we're gonna do an episode, the New Year approach, and what 24 is gonna look like. Rob, you got your own show that's been getting some traction now. We're a little bit of rebranding with it, but talk to me a little bit about what you got going on with what you're bringing forward.
Yeah, so we're rebranding the gospel. We're going to go into it's the new podcast is Frontline Mindset, and we're going to kind of talk about mental resilience a little bit, some strategy and tactic stuff, and then really like the mindset of training and all these things. Like every one of them, kind of starts out with a mindset to get the person into it. And I want to talk about that mindset and what that's like, and really dive into those conversations and see where it takes us.
So it's going to be a mix up of a couple different things, right? Because I mean, it
Mhm.
should be said that there was conversation about doing like training, but not training as in like this is how you do this, more about the admin side, planning side, the implementation side, right? Coming up with ideas for a training culture within your department, things like that, right? But then you found that there was a lot more conversation about mindset was going along with that. And I know that mental health is important to you. PTSD is important to you. So to kind of put it all together in a package, you're looking at the frontline mindset.
Yes. Yes.
Cool.
Yeah.
Good. Well, I
100%.
look forward to new episodes on that, new guests, and so on. Pip's got his lifestyle, health, and wellness. We got some ideas that we're going to be ripping on that. That'll be fun.
We probably
And
have to stop saying health and wellness with some of the ideas we've come up with for what you do off the job, but it all ties in a way.
yeah, it all ties in. I mean, like what do you do outside the firehouse? You work out, you eat, you drink, you dress, you party, you hobby. Like
Hobby.
it
I like
all
that.
goes hand in. Well, I mean, how? Go ahead.
No,
You're
no,
the
no.
guy
I
doing the
like that
show. You tell
hobby.
me. You
I like
pitch me
that
on
you
it.
hobby, right? No, but I think it's good. It's all the things you're doing in the times you're not in the firehouse, and what your life maybe could be more important than the firehouse. I know it's not cool on Instagram to say types of things like that, like what you do outside of the firehouse because you want to be 110% all in guy, but everyone's doing stuff outside.
Yeah, and if you're not, you're
you're
doing it wrong because you
100%.
can't just sit and watch TV and scroll TikTok all day, And so what I'm hoping is that you open up some minds about what people are doing and how they spend their time off. Go for a walk, go for a hike, learn how to rock climb, go shoot archery, go fishing, build model trains. I don't care. Find a hobby, find something that interests you and pursue that, because that's, to me, man, that's that fulfillment. That's exactly what you need in life. I'm finding it more and more. See, that my thing is like the fire service to me was always that gap for me because I'm not a career fireman. Right. So it was like I had my real job, I have family, but then the fire department took over everything else. Problem is, the fire department literally took over everything in my life because I love it so much. So that is my hobby on top of doing it as a passion too. And so, but I'm finding that I do need to find other things that I enjoy and I need to exploit them further. And I just don't do enough of that yet. Starting to smoke more cigars, which is good. Not that it's good for you, but I enjoy it. I'm finding more, I'm wanting to try different types and learn more about it. So that's a passion. That's something that's an interest. It's a hobby. It's something that, can maybe take my mind off of the everyday hustle and grind and allow me to focus on something that I can zone out on and educate and learn about something new that might interest me. That's the intent, right, Pip?
Yeah, and I think too, it's something you see more in the volunteer service is that it isn't someone's full-time job. It is what they do in their free time, but that free time then becomes all encompassing. And it's hard for a lot of folks to separate from that, to still have other passions because they're so passionate about that. Whereas on the career side, we have our days off, where I'm not at work right now. And not that I'm not thinking about work like everyone else would do on their time off, but it's not what I need to do. So I have all these other things to kind of fill my time. And that's exactly what we've been talking to folks about. And even folks that aren't in the emergency services. I interviewed Allison a few weeks back. She's a nurse, and she is one of the few people to complete GORUCK selection, which is pretty damn hard, is an easy way to put that. But listening to her tell her story and just her life story, she was like, wow, I've never told that story before. And it was great. So it's that passion for her to do these crazy endurance events that I may be doing one with her next year, which would be really scary.
That's cool. Well, there's so much
Want to come?
And yeah, I do. I would love
more
to.
about that.
Yeah. Why?
We're really good at supporting you from the sidelines. Of course, we would be there.
But I think it's one of those things that really matters. What you do, it's that tagline, because what you do off the job matters. I think that's really what makes you a well-rounded person, well-rounded employee, well-rounded firefighter, well-rounded nurse, whatever you are.
Well, it's grounding too, right? Like, I mean, how many times do, there was something I was reading the other day about the stack effect of calls at night, or and so like even in the volunteer world where you're talking about, like you have to have something that grounds you back out from that pager going off and you having to do XYZ and then coming back to your family and going back into dad mode, or being able to understand that, like, hey, I need a minute here to decompress before I walk back through that door, because I just did it doesn't even have to be something bad. It could just be like you're all jacked up on Mountain Dew from that awesome fire that you just ran, and your family's like, hey, we were supposed to leave 20 minutes ago.
Yeah, you're back to the life of here we go again.
Yeah.
Now I'm doing this life, and it's such a challenge. I'm working on Thanksgiving, and you wonder if we go mutual aid, are there going to be people there, or they're not going to be people there? Are they going to choose to leave their family, or are they not going to choose to leave their family that day? And it's a big decision they have to make. Jeremy's being really quiet.
I love you guys talking about volunteer firemen. It's a lot of fun.
And we're not. No, we're not. But again, no, we
easy.
both started as volunteers.
Oh, I'm well aware.
Yeah,
I'm listening. I'm just sitting. Why can't I sit back and listen?
Yeah.
I'm enjoying this conversation.
Because
No,
then your mind is thinking.
I agree 100%. What?
Then your mind is thinking about things, and that scares you.
Jeremy, you're actually a really, because I think in Franklin Lakes when it rains it pours. Like how do you do that?
Thanksgiving's good for like 7 to 9 runs. Bullshit. For the most part, we'll catch a kitchen fire, oven fire, or something every once in a while, but nothing overwhelming. But the holidays seem to ramp up, and it's hard to make sure that you have adequate staffing, but we do. It's one of those things. It's you make that commitment. I think now more than ever, I'll sit and think for a second, time of day, what's going on, or I'll put more factors into the thought instead of just running out the door, especially on a holiday. Only because, if I can go, I'm going, but if I know it can be covered and it's if it's a BS run or something, like, whatever, you got to weigh it. I mean, that's just how that works. But I know, like last year I was hosting Christmas at my house, and we had a garage fire on Christmas Eve. And that was 2 years ago, and garage fire busy Christmas Eve, Christmas, we're always running. It's nonstop. And whatchamacallit, and the guys caught a garage fire. I couldn't leave. I was in the middle of cooking prime rib for 22 people. I had house full. My wife was not here. She wasn't well at that time, so she was ill. So she was actually at the hospital that Christmas Eve. Like, it was all these things, and it was just like, I just couldn't go. You got to value personal life over the volunteer firehouse. Sometimes you just have to.
You just said it right there. You have to value your personal life over, not just even the volunteer firehouse, over your career. Like we do a second alarm recall, but it doesn't mean I can come every time because I like you have 20 people at my house, or have this going on, or have that going on. It's just not, you have to keep all these things in perspective. And I think that's something that this time of year, the holidays, the end of the year, is a good time to keep kind of bringing up and reminding people of, because it's sort of in your face. You're seeing it all over the place with what's going on in people's family lives. So why not keep that in the forefront?
Word.
Yeah.
Let's talk Thanksgiving real quick, because that's what this episode is supposed to be about, and we went down every other road but that. Plans this year? What are we doing?
Going to Rochester,
New York.
Yep. Going to see our sister-in-law.
Nice. Pip, working
5th year in a row.
What do you do? What do you do in the firehouse on Thanksgiving? Chinese food?
No. Luckily, so if you have a Hyatt hotel in your response area, one of the things that they do is they cook Thanksgiving meals.
Rob's making a note right now.
Emergency responders, yeah. I thought it was just our Hyatt, but I don't know. It's hard because with the 24/72 schedule, you work Thanksgiving 5 to 7 years in a row, depending on how the leap year works. So this is our 5th and final year on my shift of Thanksgiving. So every year the Hyatt drops off an amazing meal for all of us. They do the same for the police and EMS in our city there. So, all the outhouses come in, we set it up on the bay floor, and it's just a big family meal. Food's great. So I am I'm happy this is the last year I'm doing it though. It's been a while since I've been with my family on Thanksgiving. So
For sure.
I think that's always been one of the fun things I know here in Fairview. Like you work a holiday, it's kind of a given that like the family's invited to the firehouse, and like the doors are open to make sure that that happens, because it is tough, whether it's Thanksgiving or Christmas, but we do provide the opportunity, and we want to make sure that people can be with their families and be, because that's what it's all about.
You guys cook?
Yeah, we'll cook. I mean, in the past, I've smoked a turkey and a prime rib, and load it up.
This year my shift is doubled up, man. Thanksgiving Day and Christmas Day. So
What do you mean doubled up?
like we work Thanksgiving.
You're working
Christmas
both?
Day.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm off. I have the seniority to get. I could have had them both off, but I just stayed. I've done Thanksgiving 4 years in a row. What's the last one with the boys? We can do it. But I took Christmas off. But again, that's one of those things too, where it's great when everybody's family kind of comes through. If they're in the area, there's always loads of food, and it's good to see everybody's kind of kids popping in and out that day. And you just do the best with it, and I think we all know someone has to do it, right? There's going to be somebody on duty, and at some point in your career, it's going to be you, no matter what. So
Yep.
Yeah.
Make the best of the day. Kind of a
I
laid back
agree.
day. We also, this year, my city is doing a big flag football tournament. So we have a fire department team. Obviously, none of us working or playing, but it should be interesting for the inaugural Turkey Bowl to see how many injuries are produced, or how many people are trying to Al Bundy it out there between all the various city departments that are remembering their polk high days.
Yeah, for sure. And how many guys are not going to be able to come to work for the weeks following because they're hurt?
Yeah. We got a pool. There's a pool going on that. Once we don't know officially who's showing up, but we will definitely be gambling on the sidelines.
Yeah, gotcha. That's cool. Last thoughts. Thankful for.
Rob's pointing. Go ahead, Rob. You pointed. There's a
Well,
1 minute. So okay, so that means he's not going to talk. So
Getting yelled
no,
at.
listen, I'll start.
Like Rob, you can't be doing this right now. Rob,
you're supposed to be replacing the
You're supposed
80s
to-
wood
Rob,
paneling. You see the wood paneling behind?
supposed to be on the
You're
ambulance
put
right
sheetrock
now,
up
Rob.
there.
Good times.
Are you back?
Yes, I'm back.
Oh, okay. Thanks for joining us. Welcome to the podcast. I'm Pip. That's Jeremy. This is National Fire Radio. Be Thankful episode.
Thank you. I'm this year. I'm thankful for the people that push me to do better. So that was the question, right? What were we
I like it. Yeah, I like it.
Yeah,
I like it, man. I like it. I am this year. I'm going to go with, I'm thankful for opportunities. I had this opportunity reappear to start the Size Up again from you guys over here at National Fire Radio. Had a very interesting opportunity to ride up on the car for the past 6 months and at work, and that was interesting to say the least. But I got to grow and learn. So that it's been cool. So thanks for all these amazing opportunities, and of course my family. We're all going to say our family. Though,
Well, that's it, right? So
and the
family,
Wu-Tang
no
Clan.
doubt,
I forgot
right?
the Wu-Tang Clan.
Priority.
The family for sure.
The Wu-Tang Clan.
Wu-Tang.
That's a good buddy of mine is huge into the Wu-Tang, and I told him about this record shop, this vintage record shop, and he went the other day with his sister, and they found some nice treasures in there that they were looking for. So pretty cool. Thankful. I love the opportunity one. That's really good. I'm thankful for the friendships that I have. I always I thought up until just recently I had all the friends I needed or the people in my life that I've wanted. And I've come to find out that most of those people are not what I've wanted or needed. And it's the people, relationships I'm making now at 46 years old are more valuable than any relationship I've made in the past. And that's not easy to accept, right? But I am super thankful and grateful for the opportunity to meet people that make me want to do better. It's cool. Very much in line with what both of you said. I'm just much more eloquent about how I sum it up. And so, but
remember, as Mrs. Pip said, though, there's a reason and a season for everything and everyone. So all those friendships, there was a reason for them in your life.
100%.
But you do get people who feel like, I don't need any more friends. I have all my friends, or they're not out there trying to do what the three of us are all talking about doing. You just got to keep continuing. And these new seasons that appear in life and this opportunity and being pushed by others, they all coincide together to make you keep growing and be better. So I'll get off my soapbox now so you can't see me anymore.
You've been watching the Hallmark Channel a little too much there, Pip.
Did you zoom in on your camera?
When I was just talking? No. Why? Did it look like I zoomed in?
Oh, anyway. No, I'm just curious. Just curious.
Touch anything. Just the worst, man.
Well, listen, guys. I don't want to talk to you guys any longer, so we're gonna wrap this. But
That's what it said.
This was probably one of
This
the
is why
worst
we're not doing
episodes.
endings.
This is literally one of the worst episodes I've ever done in my life. But
Schedule
I'm
your real
thankful-
episodes and you won't have to do
I'm
things.
thankful for.
If you had your schedule down, you wouldn't have to do fillers.
That's very true. I've been busy. No, but I'm thankful for bad episodes because they make me realize that I'm better than this. So, now I want to wish you both a very merry Thanksgiving and have a wonderful day. Pip in the Firehouse, Rob in Rochester, New York. I think you're supposed to get some snow up there, so enjoy that. And what?
I said, "Oh boy, stay tuned for the holiday episode."
Oh
Do a
yeah,
holiday
because this
episode
one's
where we
really
get to
gonna
be
this
festive?
one's really gonna bring people in.
I have a lot of good festive outfits I would like to wear on a holiday episode, like
I don't.
National Fire Radio ugly sweaters. Like
Rob, remind me.
there can be cocktails
Rob,
involved.
remind me why we.
I warned you. I said this would be a possibility.
You guys love me sometimes.
Like a hemorrhoid. I mean, yes,
All right.
you are amazing, Pip.
Yeah. All right. I'm tired.
Holiday episode.
Guys, happy Thanksgiving. Enjoy
Happy
your
Thanksgiving,
families.
everyone.
Thanks,
Okay.
you guys too.
Thanks
Talk
for
to
tuning
you
in.
later. You can stay
Bye-bye.
on. I'm just signing off, but you
I
Are you
bet
gonna
you'll
end
have
it,
a-
or is it- or we're going to be recorded?
just hang out for a minute. Will you please?
Okay.
Thank you. Everyone, thanks for tuning in for another episode of the National Fire Radio Podcast. Do me a favor. Do not take this episode back to the firehouse. Do not talk about this episode. In fact, bury this episode. Burn it. Don't ever listen to it again. It was freaking terrible. This is why I do podcasts alone and not with these two clowns anymore, because I'm much better alone. So, fellas, thank you. Happy Thanksgiving. And to everyone that's listening, we wish you all a happy Thanksgiving. Enjoy your family. Be safe on the fire ground. We'll see you at the next one. Jeremy, National Fire Radio.